young, wild, and free. Or maybe a better description is young, loved, and living. Arya was doing great in school. She sat at the front of her class and was always ready to learn when the bell rang. Not that she was trying to be a teacher's pet, but she really liked helping out with after-school assignments, like dropping off permission slips. Her parents gave her room an upgrade after her birthday to match with some of the interests that she might be into. They didn't believe in forcing or pushing her into doing just one thing. They wanted her to give everything a try, and then allow her to make a decision on which one she actually wanted to do. Arya was such an amazing kid. She helped out around the house and did her chores without having to be asked. But she was also just a fun, loving child. Being an only child, she had to find different ways to entertain herself. But again, her mama and her papa made sure that she had everything possible within her reach. And they never stopped her when she was inspired to play a little pretend. They thought that it was wonderful that her natural creativity would just flow out of her, and she showed up in all different ways. She was basically their perfect golden child. Bright, independent, well-behaved, and adventurous. She excelled academically and in extracurricular activities. And on top of that, she was just sweet, kind-hearted, and respectful. They both looked at her as their shining star and were so proud of her. And she thought her parents were pretty incredible too, even though they were always doing icky stuff like kissing. Though time had passed, the fire between light and love was still burning bright. They still had sweet kisses before bed, spontaneous dances in the kitchen, and plenty of nights sitting in the garden in the backyard, watching the stars. As the Light watched Love care for their daughter with an unwavering devotion, his love for her deepened. She was an excellent cook, so she kept them well fed. She was always researching something and preparing for the day she would go after her career goals. And she still laughed at his corny jokes. Just looking at her reminded him every day that he had made the best decision in his life by asking her to be his wife. And Love was just as crazy about Light as the day that they met. Honestly, more so. He was a wonderful husband, always making her feel cherished and safe, leaving her with no doubt that she was his biggest concern. He was an amazing father. Her heart swelled when she watched how gentle and loving he was with Arya. And he was just an altogether incredible man. She appreciated everything about him. Through every challenge and triumph, their bond grew stronger, proving that true love only gets better with time. The Browns were a small family unit in size, but huge in love for each other. Arya was still a daddy's girl, enjoying every minute that they got to play with each other and try different things. The winter time was her favorite. She talked to her papa about everything, the ideas that she had, the things that sparked her interest, and even some of the things she heard about on the playground that she wasn't really too sure about. To her, her papa was the smartest man in the world, so she knew that she could always come to him for help. Her mama is who she went to for more sensitive stuff, like the boy in her class that stole her pencil. But it's okay, because that meant that his hand is touching where her hand was touching. Or about her teacher who gave her extra stickers for helping out in class. But how she didn't want to mention it to anyone else because they might make fun of her. And one day, she brought it up to her mom, how some of the other kids in school have sisters and brothers, but she doesn't. Her parents loved taking her everywhere that they went, and she was always well behaved. But she did notice that at the other houses that they went to, there were no other kids. Or if there were, they were much older than she was. So she spent most of the time there alone. She thought that her parents were cool, but they weren't her friends. She wished that she had a sister to grow up with, someone to stay up late with and talk to, or someone to play with her toys with, someone to stand up with her if the other kids started to bother her. Again, her parents, they were great, but sometimes she was a little lonely. So when the day came for her birthday, she stood there in front of the cake, closed her eyes, made her wish, and wished for the greatest thing ever. A sister.